Yo, what's going on, Clutch Crew sports fans? This is Eric, your ranting co-host here, and I'm coming at you with another Draftkings episode. This is going to be my second episode that I've done. The first episode I did was a captain showdown. I'm going to recap how my lineup went there, and then for today's lineup, I'm going to do a classic lineup. That's going to feature both of the games tonight between the Mavericks and Warriors game 4 and tomorrow night's game 5 between the Heat and Celtics. Before I get into that, first let me highlight my merch this episode. As I did last time, I had an OKC shirt on. This time I've got a very nice teal Jags hat, and I've got me a Jags t-shirt on as well, going all the way Jags here. Susan got me these as Christmas gifts, so obviously I'm going to wear these with pride. So before I get into the lineup I'm going to do for today, I'll recap last episode, and I got first place out of the 10 players. So I could have finished anywhere from first through fifth. It wouldn't have mattered. I'd still win the same amount of money, but obviously getting first is a nice boost to the ego. You can see on the right side of the screen here, I have the overall scores. I wasn't able to pull it up on the DraftKings website for some reason, so I had to take screenshots in my DraftKings app. That was how I was able to show these, so I can't scroll through to the bottom to see what the lower people got. But as you can see, I got first here by a whole 1/1200th of a point. It's pretty close, and really the top four pretty close. Then it started to fall off a little bit. Looking at my lineup here, a lot of fire symbols. That's always good. You always like to see that. Some of these players, it didn't fully matter just because everybody had them, but I think the biggest difference for me was even though everybody had Steph, I was the only one that had him as a captain, and even though Luka outscored him, because this 76.5, that's at a 1.5 times score, even though Luka outscored him, everybody else had him as their captain, and I think by me putting Steph there, since he was cheaper, it allowed me to get Wiggins and get both of these guys here, and I think it made a difference. And even my sleeper Bertans, like most people, their sleeper didn't get any points, so him getting that 10.5 points was a nice boost, and that propelled me to first place. So even though it wasn't a lot of points, me being the only one that having him and everybody else's role players not scoring, or sleeper player not scoring, that was a huge difference for me. So yeah, I got first place. I actually got second in the previous one I did before this with Zach, like I mentioned in the last episode. So on a little bit of a roll here. We'll see if that lasts. I'm typically not as good in the classics, but I wanted to do a classic one just because with this being game 4 between the Warriors and Mavericks, and the Warriors up 3-0, this could be the pretty good chance that this will be the last game in that series. And then it would be back to just only, lineups with one team at a time. So I wanted to at least get one classic in before the playoffs were over. I'm going to look for another 50-50 here. And here we go. Nobody's joined any of these yet, but there's still like a good 8.5 hours till the game starts. So hopefully these will fill up. That would suck if they don't, but every now and then these farther down lineups, like these 50-50s, they tend to not fill up. So okay, so I've got the list of available players here. So now the difference, last time what I did was you had a captain that got, more points, and then 5 other players, and they could be any position. This is different. So you have to start one player at each of the 5 positions. And then you also get a guard that can be either a point guard or shooting guard, a forward that can be a small forward or a power forward, and you get a utility, and this can be any position. So it's a total of, let's see here, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 players that you have to fill instead of 6. So your salary cap is a little more strict, although you don't have the captain deal that costs more. But so you got to find a good mix of cheap players as well as getting the right stars and everything. So I'm going. At first, I was like, I know there's no way this is everybody because I'm point guard. What I always like to do with these is start with the utility. That way I can see all of the players at one given spot, and kind of like I did with the Captain Showdown, I like to scroll down and kind of find a couple cheap players first to then see how much money I have. Otto Porter Jr., let's see here. He was really good for me in that last lineup. He's only 3,600, but he is questionable. Let's see what's going on there. He is listed as questionable. He was initially deemed doubtful, so this is a step in the right direction. It would be somewhat surprising if Porter's cleared to play. Okay, so it sounds like he's, even though he moved up from doubtful to questionable, it still sounds like he's not going to play. Let me look at other Warriors players here. Okay, hold up. Where did he go? That was weird. Okay, well, I don't know why Otto Porter Jr. is not on here. I'm on utility. I'm on Warriors. Oh, it's because it's all Dallas players first for some reason. Why isn't it showing me the... Oh, because I clicked... Okay, that was weird. Okay, I was like, why is it not showing me the Warriors players? Okay, there's Otto Porter Jr. So, let's see. So if he doesn't play... Let's see, where's like Moses Moody at? Okay, he's only 3,000. He doesn't even have an update. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, he has not done much, but however, he's dirt cheap, and if Porter doesn't play, I feel like he's going to play more because he has played. He played a decent amount of minutes in the last game, so this might be a crazy pick here to start with. I'm going to throw Moses Moody in at my shooting guard spot, and if he doesn't do anything, I don't think it'll be a huge deal. Just because he's so cheap, I feel like this gives me a little more, wiggle room to get another decent amount of players. So let me go back to here where I can see everybody. Let me see, who do I want to target next? Let me scroll down here. Dinwiddie at 5,100. Oladipo did pretty good in Miami's game last night. He's 4,900. I don't know if he'll replicate that, but that could be tempting. Grant Williams at only 4,600 is pretty tempting. Let me see how he did in the last game. He got 16 points. It's actually his second worst game of the series, but I'm shocked he only got that playing 37 minutes. But he's playing a lot of minutes. I feel like he's going to be a good value player as well. So let me go to power forward, and I'm going to put in... I'm more used to doing this on my phone too, so it's a little more confusing. There he is. So let me put Grant Williams in. My 5 slots here are kind of where I put my, cheaper players that I'm not expecting as much out of, and then down here in these 3 spots, then I fill in my more expensive players. So I'm already up to an average salary of 7,000, which I can already get some decent players for that. So let me see who else I can find that's pretty cheap. Looney's been playing pretty good at 5,300. Again, I could go with Oladipo. I think I might actually go with Oladipo since he can be a point guard. I think I will slot him in at point guard. And where did he go? There he is. All right, so let's go to small. Yeah, now that I'm filling in some specific positions, let's go to small forward here. I'm up to 7,500 average, so I can already get some pretty good players. Andrew Wiggins has been playing pretty well at 6,200. I'm not liking some of these other options down here, so I think I'll go Andrew Wiggins here. And then let's see for center. Let's see. Yeah, Looney's been... Bam would seem to make the most sense, although he didn't have a good game last game, but looking at Looney's numbers here, like he's put up at least 25 fantasy points in the last 4 games at only 5,300. I think that's a pretty good value. And with the Warriors trying to finish off the Mavericks tonight, I think that's going to be a great pick. So now to get, my last 3 spots here, I can get some pretty expensive players. I was looking at Luka when I first started this. I felt like he's kind of a obvious player, but he is $12,000, which is a lot. Like, even if let's see, if I put him in, that still kind of limits me with my remaining options. I just don't know. I feel like he'll get some good numbers and everything, but if Dallas just kind of gives up and then Golden State runs them over, I feel like he might not get like the numbers he's used to getting. So I feel like I should go a little bit cheaper here. Let's see. What's Marcus Smart's update real quick? I want to check that. Yeah, we already know he didn't play. He was already dealing with a sprained foot. Still dealing with discomfort. So they want to try to have him ready for Game 5, but cause if Derek White starts again, like he actually did pretty good last night. Let me find where he's at. He's pretty far down. He's only 4,500. Let's see. Yeah, he got 39 points, but that was because he started. That's the thing. Like if he doesn't start, he had these really low numbers. Like he would be a risk, but he would be tempting. I could put him in instead of Moody maybe at shooting guard, and that would give me a little more comfort of knowing I might actually get some points there. Let's see if I put him in. Let's see, there he is. So I still have about 8,200 per player I can work with. I can get some pretty good options there. Let me see. Let me look at the forwards. So Butler did not do well. I do want Jayson Tatum, I think. He had that bad game in Game 3. But, let's see. But he's gotten 55, 43, and 51 this series other than that bad game. So I know the Game 5 is going to be in Miami, but his 2 games in Miami he did pretty well, so I'm not worried about that being a factor. So I think for my forward slot, I'm going to go ahead and slot Tatum in there. And then, let's see now. So utility, I can put anybody. The only good center left if I wanted another center would be Bam. I know he had a bad game last night, but let me see how he's been doing. Man, he had 63 points in Game 3. That was crazy when Butler going down. But other than that, he's not been very good. So maybe I won't pick him. Steph Curry was big for me in that last game with that 56 points. Yeah, he's been doing great in this series, and including back to the Game 6 against Memphis. So I think, but I'll put him at guard, and then that way. So I only have 5,600 left. I guess I do have 2 stars here, so that's okay. And then my utility here can be anybody, unless if I were to go back and put Moody back in instead of White, that would be that's the thing. It's just not knowing if Marcus Smart is going to play or not. That is really hurting me here. That's one of the only things that can hurt about doing a lineup more in advance like this. Whereas like Otto Porter, it looks like he's not going to play. It's tough. So, okay, I'm going to go back. This might be a mistake, but let me see where there's so many players that are $3,000. I got to find him. There he is. I'm taking a risk here. This will give me more money here for my last player. Yeah, I'll have way more options for my utility. Yeah, I can get Klay Thompson or Brunson. Let's see. Looking at my lineup here, I've got 4 Warriors players, 2 Celtics, and a Heat. So I don't know if I want to go too Warriors heavy, but I do think they're going to dominate tonight. But it might be better since I do have Curry and Wiggins already. And Looney there. So it might be, let me see. I think Brunson had a better game last game. Yeah, so Game 1 wasn't very good, but really nobody on Dallas was good in Game 1. Even Luka was pretty bad in Game 1. I think they're gonna rely pretty heavily on him. I'm hoping he does more like in Game 2 where he gets more shots if I pick him. Let me compare to Klay. Yeah, Klay, he was just like consistent though. He's averaging right around 30 points. But I think maybe I should put my money on Brunson here to get higher than that. His average is higher because of that big game, but other than that, he's been about the same as Klay. This is tough. It's always hard when you get down near the end of these. I don't think anybody down here, I would want. So I think I will go Brunson, I think, just for the lineup variety. So, all right. I feel like this is a pretty solid team. I mean, if Moody gets, I know he's dirt cheap and hasn't done anything really, but if Porter doesn't play and he gets more minutes, if he can even just, at that price tag, if he can even just get me 15 to 20 points, I'll be okay with that. If Oladipo does anything near like he did in the last game, I would be okay with that. Wiggins has been solid all around. So, I mean, I feel pretty good here. I've got two superstars. I've got two solid starters out of my eight, and then even my depth guys I feel like are going to be pretty solid. So, um, I'm not like a 10 out of 10 confident on this. I'm not going to lock this or anything. I know we haven't done locks in a while in the podcast, but I'm definitely not going to like lock that this will win, but I feel pretty good. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you like my team. Go back and check out our latest episode that dropped on Monday. We did a kind of a fantasy style draft with these players that are still in the playoffs. So it was really fun, and talked about some of the role players as well. And also, if you missed Connor's hockey playoff round 2 talk, if you like hockey, you definitely need to check that out. So I will enter this officially, and it's looking like a pretty beast squad right there. I feel pretty good about this. Like I said, not a 10 out of 10, but I feel pretty good. So hopefully this will work out for me. And like I said, check out the latest episodes. This will be our 3rd episode already this week. We've been really dishing out the content. And subscribe already. Subscribe if you're not already. We'd be grateful for that as well. So, and the like button helps the algorithm. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up the episode here. Hope you enjoyed it. And with that being said, peace.